End of Chapter 6. Chapter 7. Designing for Dignity, Not Distraction. Introduction, The War on Attention. Facebook didn't just win the internet. It won the war for attention. But it lost the human. Every notification, every scroll, every red bubble was designed for one thing. Keep you clicking. Not learning. Not healing. Not becoming. That's not design. That's extraction. NOEP must offer something radical in return. A digital experience that respects your time, your mind, and your dignity. What is dignity-centered design? Dignity-centered design says, you are not a user. You are a human being with limits, dreams, and history. It asks, does this feature empower or manipulate? Does it celebrate growth or punish struggle? Does it honor your autonomy or hijack your attention? From algorithm to ally. Facebook's algorithm is personalized, addictive, optimized for outrage and engagement. Nope's algorithm must be purposeful, reflective, optimized for growth and rest. Imagine. Instead of you missed this post, NOEP says, welcome back. Ready to begin again? Instead of endless scroll, you reach a moment that says, pause. Reflect. Breathe. These are not breaks. They're boundaries with care. Distraction versus direction. Design for distraction. Design for dignity. Endless scroll. Progress markers plus clear completion. Random dopamine hits. Meaningful rewards tied to effort. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Joy of making progress, JOMP. Curated perfection. Honest reflections and real wins. Noise. Signal. The goal isn't less screen time. It's more sacred time. Human first defaults. Designing for dignity also means private by default, you choose what to share. Opt-in engagement, no forced gamification. Reflective feedback, not grades but guided journaling. Flexible timing, because life does not happen on a syllabus. This isn't just UX. It's moral architecture. Dignity in the small details. Little things matter. Gentle language, ready to learn again, not you fell behind. Celebration of micro-efforts. Audio/visual diversity for different learning styles. Accessibility for trauma survivors, neurodiverse learners, and elders. This is not about making things pretty. It's about making them safe. Closing reflection, design is destiny. Facebook designed a world where we scrolled, compared, and forgot. NOEP can design a world where we reflect, grow, and remember. Dignity isn't a feature. It's a foundation. When design honors the learner stays. When the learner stays, the nation grows. Let's design for growth without shame. Let's make every click a vote for care. End of Chapter 7. Chapter 8. What Facebook Built and Broke. Introduction, The Great Digital Trade-Off. Facebook connected the world. And in doing so, it fractured it. It gave billions a voice, and helped billions forget how to listen. It personalized our feeds and polarized our minds. It democratized expression and centralized control. Facebook built the rails. But it forgot the destination. This is not a hit piece. It's a reckoning. Because before we rebuild, we must understand what we're healing from. What Facebook built. Let's be honest, Facebook accomplished the impossible. Globe with meridians scaled identity to 3 billion people. Busts in silhouette made online communities feel intimate. Counterclockwise arrows created habit-forming loops that outperformed most religions. Camera with flash archived human memory in real time. Brain shifted public consciousness toward digital-first thinking. Megaphone amplified marginalized voices during movements like BLM, Me Too, Arab Spring. This was not small. It was historic. Facebook wasn't just a product. It was a civilization layer. But with great reach came great consequences. What Facebook broke? Here's what frayed beneath the surface. What worked? What fractured? Fast connection. Shallow intimacy, echo chambers. Profile personalization. Self-comparison, curated inauthenticity. Comment sections. Trolling, emotional exhaustion. Group organizing. Disinformation, cult-like dynamics. Targeted ads. Surveillance capitalism. Algorithmic feed. Loss of chronological truth. It's not that Facebook wanted to harm. It's that it optimized for growth, not good. The emotional cost of free platforms. Facebook taught us. You don't need to pay with money. You'll pay with your time. And eventually your attention, trust, and mental clarity. We weren't users. We were inputs. That's what NOEP must reject and repair. The repair blueprint. Nope's response must be deliberate. Facebook's shadow. Nope's intention. Addictive design. Restorative rhythm. Performative culture. Reflective progress. Monopolized data. Community-owned credentials. Feed for reaction. Feed for reflection. Profit from division. Purpose from connection. This isn't just about better tech. It's about a better contract with the public. The biggest thing Facebook broke. Trust. We trusted the platform. With our memories. With our relationships. With our movements. And it sold them. NOEP cannot follow that path. It must be transparent. Ethical by default. Co-created with the communities it serves. Because once trust is gone, platforms become prisons. Closing reflection, build with full sight. We can admire what Facebook built. We can grieve what it broke. But most importantly, we can build what comes next. A platform that keeps the connection, heals the damage. Let's build in full view of the past. And full service to the future. End of Chapter 8. Chapter 9. The NOEP Opportunity, a platform that actually elevates us. Introduction, the platform is the policy. In the 20th century, governments built highways. In the 21st century, we must build digital commons. Facebook showed us how powerful platforms can be. But never used that power to elevate human capacity. NOEP isn't just a website. It's a public operating system for dignity, growth, and community. Where Facebook extracted attention, NOEP invests in agency. What is NOEP, really? The National Open Education Platform is a virtual skills ladder, a community of practice, a recognition engine, a social safety net powered by mentorship, a blueprint for economic and emotional mobility. But more than anything, it's a place that asks, what if we design technology to heal, not harm? Designing with social infrastructure in mind. NOEP isn't a course catalog. It's a human development platform with feature, impact, profiles of becoming, track growth, not status, micro-certifications, stackable skills with real-world value, community circles, peer accountability and support, mentorship feed, emotional scaffolding for resilience, recognition badges, celebrate effort, not ego, civic storytelling wall, elevate voices, build national trust. This isn't Silicon Valley. This is digital nation building by and for the people. The NOEP social contract. Every user who logs in agrees to learn openly, share vulnerably, lift others when possible, give and receive recognition, reflect regularly, and in return, the platform guarantees dignity, safety, recognition, growth scaffolding, belonging. This is not surveillance capitalism. It's social capacity scaffolding. The scale is already there. Facebook taught the world how to react, comment, scroll, compare, belong, sort of. NOEP can redirect all that infrastructure toward reflect, grow, support, learn, lead. We don't need new tools. We need new terms of use for life. The future we're building. With NOEP, Canada could become the first country to universalize emotional literacy, offer dignity through platform design, close skill gaps without debt, make mentorship part of the national rhythm, export peace through learning infrastructure. This isn't just policy. It's prophecy. And it begins with a login, not an application. Closing reflection, what comes after Facebook? Facebook built a world where you showed who you were. NOEP builds a world where you grow into who you're becoming. Where the feed becomes a mentor. Where the group becomes your family. Where progress becomes public and dignity becomes digital. The platform is not the product. The people are. Let's build something worthy of them. End of Chapter 9. Let's keep going. Chapter 10 is a vital one. It positions NOEP as more than a platform or a policy. It's a digital commons, a shared space where public good is the default, not the exception. Chapter 10, The Digital Commons, where policy meets platform. From Platform of the People, what Facebook got right, and what NOEP can redeem. By Nicholas van der Wansum. Introduction, Where do we all belong? In the 1900s, we gathered in town halls, libraries, churches, and cafes. In the 2000s, we gathered in news feeds, owned by corporations. What we lost was the commons. A place where we could grow, disagree, reflect, and become together. Facebook tried to offer a digital town square. But it charged admission in the form of our data, our peace, and our trust. NOEP offers something else. A digital commons, not for profit but for people. What are a digital commons? A digital commons is public, open, co-created, steward, not owned, designed for collective benefit. Examples: Wikipedia, OpenStreetMap, Creative Commons licensing, open source coding communities. What these spaces share: no gatekeepers, no surveillance capitalism, no extractive design. What they offer: access, accountability, and aspiration. NOEP as a digital commons. Imagine logging into a platform that is built by public mandate, funded by public funds, governed by public interest, improved by public input, where your growth is a contribution, not just a personal win, where the community's wins become your inspiration. That's not a network. That's a nation with its arms open. Policy that lives on a platform. NOEP is policy in action. Traditional policy. NOPE's commons-based alternative. Top-down mandates. Co-designed growth tracks. Bureaucratic credentialing. Peer-verified micro-certifications. Delayed impact. Real-time mentorship and feedback. Siloed service delivery. Unified learning health support threads. In NOEP, policy meets interface. Every click is civic engagement. Every conversation is social cohesion. Every badge is nation building. Shared ownership, shared outcomes. A commons is everyone's and no one's. NOEP can invite city libraries to host learning labs, community centers to hold group sessions, elders to guide learning pods, newcomers to shape language accessibility, youth to mentor youth. This is policy by participation. Governance by growth. The safety of a commons. Facebook asked, what will keep you online? NOEP asks, what will keep you well? In the digital commons, vulnerability is welcomed. Questions are honored. Growth is public but shame is private. Care is engineered in. This isn't better UX. It's national healing via digital design. Closing reflection, from feed to fellowship. A commons is a place to show up, try, fail safely, start again, be witnessed, be celebrated. Facebook gave us the feed. NOEP gives us fellowship. That's what happens when policy lives not on paper, but in people connected by purpose on a platform they co-own. Let's rebuild the commons. Let's elevate the country. End of Chapter 10. Chapter 11. Open access, real equity. Introduction. Access isn't just a login. Open access sounds simple. No paywall. No application. No credential required to start. But that's not the full picture. You can give someone the key, but if they've been locked out their whole life, they still might not walk through the door. This is where NOEP steps in. To build a system where access feels safe, useful, human, and possible. The myth of equal access. Facebook, Google, YouTube, they're all free. But they're not equitable. Why? Algorithms prefer certain languages. Tech literacy skews toward the resourced. Time to participate depends on life stability. Visibility favors confidence, not necessarily contribution. Access without dignity is performance. Access without scaffolding is abandonment. What real equity looks like in NOEP? NOEP doesn't just open doors, it walks you in. Equity in this platform means design principle, real-world application, multiple entry points. Start via mobile, text, kiosk, or in person. No literacy assumption. Audio, visual, and verbal options. Trauma-informed UX. Soft language, control over visibility. Time-flexible learning. Microlessons for busy lives. Translation on demand. AI-backed multilingual support. Badging without shame. Celebrate starts, not just completions. This is not access for all. It's designed for those left behind first. Public platforms must undo private harm. Facebook was free and yet it monetized your attention. It fed anxiety and outrage. It harvested data in exchange for dopamine. Open access isn't just about who can enter. It's about who can trust. NOEP must guarantee no data harvesting, no manipulative notifications, no shame-based nudges, no advertising model. Just growth together on your terms. Free isn't enough. Guided is better. Too many open learning platforms fail because they're overwhelming. They assume too much autonomy. They lack emotional support. NOEP will include weekly growth prompts, human mentors and community check-ins, onboarding with real people, encouragement loops. Open access plus guidance equals liberation. Closing reflection, equity is an ecosystem. Open access is the start. Real equity is what comes after. The mentorship. The emotional scaffolding. The visible community. The celebration of effort. Because equity isn't a portal. It's a promise. And that promise is this. You matter. You belong. You can begin from wherever you are. End of Chapter 11. Chapter 12. Microcertification and the New Credentialism. Introduction, the death of the degree monopoly. For decades, your value was measured by two things. A degree. A job title. Everything else, your lived experience, side hustles, street smarts, family caregiving, cultural fluency, was invisible. But that era is ending. The world doesn't need more gatekeepers. It needs more transparent proof of growth. Enter, microcertification. What is microcertification? Microcertification is bite-sized learning. Skill-specific recognition. Stackable into full credentials. Earned in days or weeks, not years. Built around what you can do, not just what you studied. Think. Digital Safety 101. Emotional literacy for teams. Basic plumbing tools. Trauma-informed communication. It's not lesser. It's laser-focused. Why the old credential system is crumbling. Traditional degree model. New microcert model. 2 to 4 years full-time. 2 to 4 hours or weeks. One size fits all. Personalized and adaptive. Expensive and exclusive. Free or affordable. Delayed ROI. Immediate value on job/skill market. Inaccessible during life crisis. Designed for life-in-motion learners. Credentials must match the way people live, not the way institutions operate. Facebook never built this, NOEP will. Facebook gave people profiles but never recognized their growth. NOEP will turn every skill earned into a badge. A credential. A searchable signal of capability. These digital badges can be displayed publicly. Be verified by employers or community partners. Be stacked into larger certifications. Be linked to job pipelines and mentorship tracks. This is currency for the capability economy. Dignity through visibility. What if a mom who completed mental health basics could display it on her NOEP wall? A newcomer who passed Intro to Canadian Civic Literacy could show it at a job interview. A trades learner with 5 tool badges could be fast-tracked into paid apprenticeship. We've always grown. Now we can prove it, without apology or debt. The new credential pathways. In NOEP, you don't need to follow the old map. You can start anywhere. Earn real credit. Get visible. Be respected for what you know and what you've lived. This is not alternative. This is the future. And it works with traditional systems too, not against them. Closing reflection, let skills speak louder than status. Degrees are important, but they're not enough. Not in a world that needs reskilling, healing, local job creation, trust-based recognition. Microcertification gives people the confidence to say, I've started. I'm ready. I belong. Let the credentials speak. Let them lift, not limit. End of Chapter 12. Chapter 13. The Trust Layer, Verifying Growth Without Surveillance. Introduction, surveillance is not safety. Facebook promised connection. But it built surveillance infrastructure. Every click. Every message. Every scroll. Tracked, profiled, and sold. It told us you're being seen, but what it really meant was you're being watched. NOEP must make a radical shift. Verification without violation. Growth without exploitation. Trust without tracking. Why trust is the real credential. Credentials matter, but only if people believe. They weren't faked. They were fairly earned. They weren't sold to advertisers. They reflect effort and character. Trust in platform equals trust in the credential. Trust in the credential equals trust in the person. That's why NOEP must have a visible trust layer, not just a functional one. How Facebook built surveillance disguised as personalization. Let's be honest. Personalization wasn't for your benefit. It was for ad targeting. Facebook mined behavior. Created shadow profiles. Tracked even logged out users. Built AI models on your emotional triggers. The result? You stopped feeling safe. You stopped feeling sovereign. You stopped knowing who was in control. NOEP flips the script. Trust building through transparency. In NOEP, everything about verification should be explained clearly. Consent-driven. Opt-outable without punishment. For example, this badge was earned on a date and verified by mentor name. You control who sees your progress. No external data is sold or shared. Revocable access, you can delete your trail. The goal isn't control. It's co-creation of trust. Blockchain. Maybe. But human first. Yes, blockchain can offer immutable credentials. Trustless verification. Peer-to-peer validation. But even tech like that must be wrapped in human ritual. Community-endorsed badges. Emotional feedback from real mentors. Group milestones and ceremonies. Because trust doesn't start with code. It starts with care. The trust rituals of NOEP. Here's what the trust layer could look like day to day. Ritual. Outcome. Weekly growth check-ins. Build self-reflection, coach verification. Badge gratitude from peers. Adds community affirmation to credentials. Transparent credential trail. Lets others trace your learning journey. Earn trust badges, not purchased. Signals integrity to the platform and others. We don't need lie detectors. Accountability. Closing reflection, trust. Closing reflection, trust is the new UX. Lets others trace your learning journey. Earn trust badges, not purchased. Signals integrity to the platform and others. We don't need lie detectors. We need public rituals of accountability. Closing reflection, trust is the new UX. Design used to be about convenience. Then it was about retention. Now it must be about trust. Because the platform that holds your growth must hold your dignity. NOEP must never become a watcher. It must be a witness. That's the trust layer. Not to control us, but to confirm we're becoming. End of Chapter 13. Chapter 14. The role of government, soft power for social infrastructure. Introduction, from roads to code. In the 20th century, governments built roads, power grids, postal networks, public schools. They didn't build them for profit. They built them for participation. Now, in the 21st century, the equivalent isn't just highways. It's digital infrastructure. The next public service is not water or Wi-Fi. It's dignified access to learning, connecting, and contribution. NOEP is that infrastructure. But it needs government to get serious and get brave. What government got wrong about platforms? Governments treated platforms like businesses, neutral tools, private spaces. But Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube became emotional regulators, narrative engines, cultural architects, shadow governments. The public left the town square and entered someone else's app. That's not freedom. That's dependency. NOEP, a public platform for public good. Imagine a platform built with federal funding, governed with public input, protected by privacy law, audited for equity, not just efficiency, celebrated as a civic project, not a corporate stunt. That's NOEP. It's not an edtech startup. It's infrastructure for national belonging. Soft power, hard impact. What if Canada didn't just fund defense and health care, but became a global leader in emotional, educational, and economic soft power? Soft power means exporting dignity, inviting global collaboration, showing what equity looks like in practice, building digital spaces that don't extract, where the U.S. exports platforms of profit, platforms of peace. Why the public sector must lead. Private platforms. NOEP public platform. Profit from attention. Invest in learner growth. Design for addiction. Design for dignity. Extractive data models. Privacy-first trust systems. Market-driven priorities. Human development goals. This isn't idealism. It's real public ROI. Policy backing that matters. To succeed, NOEP needs a dedicated federal team, a standalone budget line, ministerial leadership across education, innovation, and social development, public-private co-build partnerships, library plus community center integration, and above all, the political will to treat platforms like national utilities, not optional extras. Closing reflection, digital nation building. In the 1900s, nations built infrastructure to lift bodies and economies. In the 2000s, we must build infrastructure to lift minds, hearts, and communities. That's what NOEP is. Nation building through education, recognition, and care, one platform built for all. Let government rise to this role. Let the public reclaim its space. End of Chapter 14. Chapter 15. Reclaiming Public Imagination. Introduction. The greatest loss wasn't privacy, it was possibility. Facebook didn't just take our data. It took our belief in alternatives. We stopped imagining. Social networks without manipulation. Credentials without institutions. Platforms without profit motives. Growth without shame. It's not that people don't care. It's that they've stopped believing change is possible. NOEP is not just a platform. It's an invitation to believe again. Why public imagination was captured. Big Tech told us. This is how it works now. You either opt in, or you disappear. Free speech means free chaos. Privacy is gone, just get over it. And we complied. That's how imagination dies. One UX trap at a time. One dark pattern. One dopamine loop. One privacy policy no one reads. But we can reclaim it because imagination is our birthright. What happens when imagination is reawakened? When people believe they can build something new. Activism surges. Local heroes emerge. Communities experiment. Policy becomes personal. Platforms become public space. Belief precedes infrastructure. Imagination precedes design. NOEP must be seated not just as a platform, but as a national narrative. The role of storytelling in public infrastructure. To reclaim imagination, we must tell stories of growth, not just stats. Celebrate struggle, not just success. Humanize policy, not just push programs. Show what's possible, not just what's broken. This is where NOEP shines. Personal learning walls. Mentor reflections. Community wins and testimonials. I got my first badge, videos that go viral for the right reasons. Reframing the future of platforms. Let's remind people. Your learning can be public without being performative. Your growth can be recognized without being monetized. Your identity can evolve without being tracked. Your story can inspire others without being sold. We're not asking people to abandon social media. We're offering them a home for their becoming. That's the leap public imagination needs most. Community rituals that reignite belief. Ideas to bring imagination to life. Growth showcases at libraries. Annual Digital Commons Day. A national mentorship mural, digital plus physical. Collective storytelling prompts every Monday. Podcasts featuring learner journeys from coast to coast. This isn't marketing. It's movement making. Closing reflection, the most radical tool is still imagination. Platforms may use AI, code, and data. But what they run on is belief. NOEP will succeed when people start to see themselves not as users, but as builders. Mentors, students, leaders, all at once. Let's restore imagination. Let's dare to build what Big Tech told us was impossible. End of Chapter 15. The platform is not the code. The platform is the people. Chapter 16. The platform is the people. Introduction. Platforms don't change the world, people do. We've talked about design. About dignity. About trust. About policy. About pain. About potential. But at the heart of it all is this. The platform is not a website. It's a mirror of we choose to be together. Facebook showed us our fears. NOEP can show us our future. Why people must be platform designers. If people don't shape the platform, it will shape them. NOEP is not a tool to be consumed. It's a living system, co-created by mentors who offer without ego, learners who begin again, public servants who serve with soul, local leaders who hold the digital and physical together, youth who bring the joy, elders who carry the wisdom. This is what a people-powered platform looks like. What makes a platform human? Element. Human equivalent. Profile. Identity in progress. Feed. Circle of care and resonance. Badge. Acknowledgement of growth. Message. Invitation to belong. Forum. Modern campfire. Dashboard. Personal reflection altar. Every interaction is a chance to feel seen, or ignored. NOEP will choose seeing. The feedback loop of belonging. Most platforms optimize for time on site, conversion, ad clicks. NOEP will optimize for reflection, recognition, renewal. Because when people feel witnessed, capable, cared for, they do more than log in. They show up for their own life. Nation building through platform building. This is bigger than Canada. If we get NOEP right, we rewrite what public education means. Redeem what social media fractured. Reclaim what big tech abandoned. Rebuild public trust one learner at a time. Facebook scaled culture. NOEP will scale dignity. Closing reflection, we are the platform we've been waiting for. No code base will save us. No feature alone will heal us. But when a platform is built for people, by people, and in service of our shared growth, it becomes more than digital space. It becomes a home. And in that home, we remember. We are not broken. We are becoming. Together. Let's not wait for another app. Let's be the platform. End of chapter 16. End of book, Platform of the People. From Platform of the People, What Facebook Got Right, and What NOEP Can Redeem. By Nicholas van der Wansum.